Hey, what's up? It's Mo inside the uat.edu studios, hanging out with Professor Craig Belanger of University of Advancing Technology. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about synchronic learning.
All right, so synchronic learning is UAT's signature learning model. And it really comes from our mission, which is to educate students in advancing technology who innovate for our future. Over the years, since the 1980s, we have honed this model of teaching students, technology students to be clear, to be career ready, to be able to think for themselves, to be flexible, within a flexible learning environment. This sets us apart in a lot of ways because, for example, my traditional state university experience prepared me for a lot of theory, maybe not as much practical workplace knowledge or career progression knowledge as I might have wanted. I had a great education, but I didn't necessarily come out of it with some sort of overview of what the workplace might have in store for me. So if you look at what employers across industries globally are looking for students or from graduates in 2025, they are looking for people who can think for themselves, who can solve problems in diverse ways. Lots of different strategies can be employed. They are resilient. They can hang in there until the project is done. They are innovative, they're creative. That's what we try and produce, and Synchronic is how we get there.
On top of synchronic learning, you guys also teach general education, am I correct?
General education at UAT, I believe it's a pretty unique experience for students. So when you think of general education, it does include sort of, the high school classes, math, history, social sciences, English composition, things like that. The way that we approach those is, yes, there are some traditional parts of those kinds of classes you have to have in there. It's part of our accreditation or licensing. But that doesn't mean that they have to be boring and flat experiences that people wind up resenting because it was kind of a waste of time. And the way that this ties into an education for technology students is we have a part of our general education that is called core. And the core classes include things like communications and technology. So could you actually come into a radio station and give somebody the narrative of the project? Tell them the story of that. That's storytelling. It's also technical because you have to build it, you have to design it, you have to do all of those things. But can you talk about the thing that you made to a general audience? That's a communication skill. That's not necessarily something you're going to learn in an engineering class.
Do any of these courses surprise people when they take them?
Yes, in a number of different ways. Sometimes it's just the surprise, like, I didn't think I was going to enjoy that experience.
Does this also work well with the hybrid learning that UAT also has?
Hybrid is really just a realization. It's a recognition of what we have already been living as a civilization for the last, during the age of mass media, is that people can be in a room hundreds of miles away, but they can still be an active learner, right? Or they could be in the classroom, or maybe they're not even going to experience the class until Saturday morning when they actually get a chance to look at the class and maybe review some of the materials. So hybrid is just a recognition of the many different ways that people learn. Plus, we're utilizing all of these incredible communications tools for their education.
What would you say the biggest thing is that students love with hybrid learning?
Flexibility.
Love that.
All the learning styles are different. You're going to learn different than me, and I'm going to have some things that I might prefer that you don't. And that's just the way that people are. I think it's a disservice to students if we're just relying on the same old formula over and over and over again. And so schools that I think don't have something like Synchronic are at a deficit, and those students, I personally believe, are not going to be fulfilled in the way that we fulfill.
I think it's incredible that UAT allows that flexibility because, like you said, everybody's journey is different, but we all have to get to that same end point.
Yeah.
And the fact that you offer that is just amazing. I don't know any other technology class or college that could do something like that. So the fact that you have that flexibility for others, just amazing.
I'd like to think that we are unique.
You guys definitely are. If you had to summarize UAT's academic approach to things in maybe a few words, how would you say that?
We will help you in any way that we can achieve your dream. You have to bring yourself along for that journey.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Professor Craig. I just really appreciate your time and your thoughts about everything that you're doing at UAT. And if you feel like the future is where you need to be, it's not going to wait for you. So you need to get on it. Go and check out uat.edu/mo for more info. And thank you again, Professor Craig Belanger.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.